Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining this leadership masterclass by Ihama, the president of the School of Greatness and the author of the book, The Mystique of Leadership: How to Become an Exceptional Leader. As you may or may not know, I travel around the world and I speak a lot on leadership, and I've been doing that for two decades. I've been in the leadership game, as I often say, for a long time, and read so many books and done so many researches and spoken to so many groups, literally all around the world, whether it's a group of politicians, pastors, corporate executive, entrepreneurs, youths, and the concept of personal development and leadership. And over time, I have learned that there's so many information on the internet that could be misleading. And when I was writing the book, one of the objectives was to debunk the prevailing myths and misconception about leadership, and talk a lot about the original purpose of leadership, the principles of an exceptional leader, and the process of leading. What are the differences to lead in as a pastor or a politician or as a corporate executive? Basically, in all these areas, there are leadership principles that are basic for every role, but then there are some that you need to specialize in depending on the area of your calling. So what I want to share today in this leadership class, a couple of things leaders often forget, which I wrote predominantly on in my book. In fact, there's a chapter called What Leaders Often Forget. And in the book, you may consider it What Leaders Often Forget is really a succinct, the word mystique means framework. It's a succinct version, a concise version of everything you need to know about leadership. Number one thing leaders often forget is that leadership is the act of igniting leadership spirit in others. That's it. Like, once you ignite your leadership spirit, you owe it now to every person that comes across, whether it's on the bus, on the plane, in the hotel. Like I travel around, so I really have opportunity to be in hotels and on the plane. I meet people beside me, and I have protocol officers around me. Like I'm always around people. I have clients who come to me for coaching or mentorship. And my objective is clear, is to ignite your leadership spirit. In fact, with this video is what we intend to do, to reach millions and millions of people through social media and what have you. And please share this video as we go to ignite the leadership spirit of others. That's what it comes down to. It's not about how many people are following you, but how many leaders you're creating. All right, so you want to keep that in mind as one of the things leaders often forget. You are not a leader, therefore, until you are developing leadership in other people. Okay, that's really the essence of leadership. And number two, leadership is about the definitiveness of purpose. For it is purpose and purpose only that can ignite your leadership spirit. Like I need to say this again. What I'm saying here basically is you are not a leader until you discover your purpose. It doesn't matter the position you occupy. It doesn't matter how much you have. It doesn't matter who you know. Your leadership spirit is only ignited by purpose and purpose only. So the question is, have you discovered your purpose? I wrote a lot about purpose in my other book, The Welcome to Greatness. And in fact, purpose is a prerequisite in any program at the School of Greatness. Whether you want to be a professional speaker, you want to be a life coach, you want to get a leadership certificate, we have to put you through what we call the Purpose Clinic. The Purpose Clinic, you have to go through the Purpose Clinic. So the question is, leadership is about the definitiveness of purpose, because the vision you intend to advance in your leadership must be tied to your purpose, or else it's going to fail. That's disaster for sure. So that's number two. Leaders often forget what they need to remember. Number three is, if you think holding a position of authority makes you a leader, you may never become one. Absolutely. Why? Because in chapter 1, I talked a lot about what leadership is not. It's not about position. It's not about popularity. It's not about prosperity. It's not about population. It's not about power. All right. Those are the 5 top misconceptions of leadership that I have discovered over 20 years. That people think, oh, well, when I become a leader, no, leadership is a decision. It's not a position. In fact, positions and job titles are demanding of you. That means when people offer you a position, when you are voted for to rule a country or whatever, when you are promoted at work, listen, they're basically saying, we trust your capability. We've seen what you've done. We want you to do more. But most people think it's an appreciation of, say, okay, you have a right. You have not. In fact, when you are given a position of authority, it's an indication that there's still a lot more work to be done. That's another thing you want to keep in mind. Job titles are not indicative. Number 4, another one you want to keep in mind is it is absurd to consider leadership without spirituality, when in essence, frankly, leadership at its best is spirituality. I mean, especially in North America, I travel around, and sometimes people are like, oh, well, we want to tune down the spirituality. And I say, well, are you basically saying people can steal, can kill, can murder, can, what are you talking about? Because when you take spirituality out of leadership, it becomes dictatorship. That's a fact. It becomes dictatorship. You cannot take spirituality out of leadership. In fact, to the leaders we adore today, the ones we admire the most, I'm talking people like Jesus Christ, even Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln, Nelson Mandela. These are people that thrived on spirituality. They thrived on spirituality. Okay. And lastly, I want to leaders often forget is, there is nothing about leadership that gives you power over somebody else. So whether you're holding a position of authority or not, whether you have all the money in the world or not, nothing gives you power. Bill Gates has no power over anybody. The only right you earn as a leader is the right to serve. That's it. SERVE. That's it. So in the book, I talk about the concept of servant leadership. There are so many books on servant leadership, and I say, is there any other kind of leadership? Right? Servant leadership is a tautology. That means it's just two words with the same meaning. Servant leadership is the same. There's no servant leadership. You're either a leader or you're not. All right. So you want to keep that in mind. The only right you earn as a leader is the right to serve strategically, sacrificially, and successfully. Again, it's Alex Ihama. You can go ahead and share this video. Of course, send me your question, your comment. Find me on Facebook, LinkedIn. Join me. Send me a message. Join the leadership revolution. All right, let's go ignite the leadership spirit in other people. All right, so again, alexihama.com or alex@alexihama.com. You can send me an email.